Two Israeli embassy staffers killed in shooting outside Jewish museum in Washington, D.C. Trump reacts in an act of anti-Semitic terrorism. Two staff members linked to the Israeli embassy were killed in a shooting outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C., local media reported on Wednesday night local time. A 30-year-old suspect, identified as Elias Rodriguez, was arrested, after which he shouted, "Free, free Palestine." He hailed from Chicago, the police said. Two Israeli embassy staffers were assassinated outside the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. This is the terrorist Elias Rodriguez, who shot and killed a Jewish couple outside the Jewish Museum in D.C. Free Palestine can now officially be considered a terrorist chant. Pic.twitter.com 0 and 89 LZ Kui Summit Hands May 22, 2025 THEDC police launched an investigation into the incident and are probing the shooting across the street from the FBI's Washington field office, which is located near the museum. The Israeli embassy was in touch with the local authorities. After the attack, Prime Minister of Israel Benjamin Netanyahu called for additional security in all Israeli missions across the globe. The Israeli ambassador was not at the location when the shooting took place, an embassy official told CNN. In a statement, Tal Naim Cohen, spokesperson for the Israeli embassy in Washington, later confirmed that two embassy staff members were shot at close range on Wednesday evening while attending a Jewish event at the Capitol Jewish Museum. We have full faith in law enforcement authorities on both the local and federal levels to apprehend the shooter and protect Israel's representatives and Jewish communities throughout the United States, he added. Soon after the incident, U.S. President Donald Trump said, "Hatred and radicalism have no space in the country." In a post on his social media platform, Truth Social, Trump said these horrible D.C. killings, based obviously on anti-Semitism, must end now. Hatred and radicalism have no place in the USA. Condolences to the families of the victims. So sad that such things as this can happen. God bless you all. Nanan Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem said that the police are actively investigating the incident and will share more updates in due course. Two Israeli embassy staff were senselessly killed tonight near the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. We are actively investigating and working to get more information to share, Noem said on X. Israel's envoy to the United Nations, Danny Danon, described the shooting as an act of anti-Semitic terrorism and said that harming the diplomats is crossing a red line. The fatal shooting that took place outside the event that took place at the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. in which Israeli embassy employees were also injured is a depraved act of anti-Semitic terrorism. Harming diplomats and the Jewish community is crossing a red line, Danon said. Nanan FBI Director Kash Patel took to X and said that he has been briefed about the shooting and said that the police are dealing with the situation. My team and I have been briefed on the shooting tonight in downtown D.C. outside the Capitol Jewish Museum and near our Washington field office. While we're working with MPD to respond and learn more, in the immediate, please pray for the victims and their families. We will keep the public updated as we are able, he said. Ted Deutsch, CEO of the American Jewish Committee, told ABC News that they had hosted an event at the museum that night. We are devastated that an unspeakable act of violence took place outside the venue, Deutsch said. At least one of the victims was rushed to a local hospital in critical condition, ABC reported, citing sources. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi and interim U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia Jeanine Pirro visited the crime scene shortly after the shooting. Bondi tweeted. Nanan Secretary of State Marco Rubio condemned the attack and vowed to bring the perpetrators to justice. We condemn in the strongest possible terms the murder of two staff members from the Embassy of Israel in Washington, D.C. Our prayers are with their loved ones. This was a brazen act of cowardly, anti-Semitic violence. Make no mistake, we will track down those responsible and bring them to justice, he posted on X. Isaac Herzog, Israeli president, termed the killings as an act of terror and said that the U.S. and Israel will always stand united. The heinous attack in Washington is a horrific anti-Semitic act of terror that claimed the lives of two young employees from the Israeli embassy in Washington. I send my heartfelt condolences to the families in this difficult hour and pray for the recovery of the wounded. We in Israel stand by the Jewish community in Washington and throughout the United States, and I wish to send comfort and strength to the entire embassy team. America and Israel will always stand united in defending our peoples and our shared values. We will not allow terror and hatred to break us, he posted on X. Nanan antisemitism refers to prejudice or hatred of Jews, which can manifest in various forms, such as violence directed at Jewish individuals, communities, or institutions, discrimination, and hostility against them. In recent times, antisemitic incidents have been reported widely in several parts of the world. Over 9,300 such incidents were reported by the Anti-Defamation League in the U.S. in 2024, the highest number since the tracking started in 1979. Israel's war in Gaza against Hamas has resulted in the increase in such incidents in the recent past. Nanan Berlin, Germany February 2025 A Spanish tourist was severely injured in a knife attack at the Holocaust Memorial. The assailant, a Syrian asylum seeker, expressed a desire to kill Jews. Melbourne, Australia December 2024 The Audace Israel synagogue was vandalized with pro-Palestinian and anti-Semitic graffiti. Swipe left for next video. In May this year, Israel commenced Operation Gideon's Chariots, a major ground offensive in Gaza aimed at dismantling Hamas military capabilities and governance structures. The operation has led to over 53,000 Palestinian deaths, according to Gaza's health authorities, and has drawn international criticism over humanitarian concerns. Latest blogs.